Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cinthya and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hey everybody, it's Cinthya.
And it's Michelle. Welcome back to another episode of Awkwardly Random.
Okay, we gotta do something about that. Or we could just leave it as is.
Let's just leave it in. We just have to synchronize better.
Yeah,
I don't know, we're not.
It's hard to synchronize when you're on Zoom because I don't think the timing aligns perfectly.
Yeah.
So
it's fine. It'll be good.
Well, welcome back, y'all.
Somehow we'll figure it out. But
yeah, we'll figure it out. We're cool.
Fine.
We're cool. Okay, welcome back to another episode. We're excited to have you with us again. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, Mish?
I'm good. I'm tired. It's a Saturday morning, late morning. It's not even early morning, and I'm tired, but doing good. Happy to be here. Happy to talk to you.
Yes,
it's been
you too.
An eventful week and good weekend so far. So yeah, how are you doing? What's
doing
new?
Well, nothing new. Work is work. Last night, Reve and I, my cousin, we had a movie night, roomie night. We made some food and we watched the Tony Hawk documentary on HBO Max.
Is it good?
It was actually really good. It's
what
2
is it
hours
about?
long.
Just his life?
It's
go ahead.
Yeah, how he started with it, like how he got into it, the impact that it had on his life, that it still has on his life, and the fact that he's 53 and he's still skating every day. And I'm like, damn, that's impressive. But also I didn't realize just how much of a toll skateboarding has on your body.
Yeah.
And how much it really pushes you. And like these skateboarders go through a lot of physical pain. I mean, obviously also like emotional pain too, with everything, with all the pressure and all the fame that Tony Hawk experienced and experiences through skating. So I
didn't know too much about or grew up knowing too much about skating and stuff until late middle school, high school years.
Yeah,
but cool.
I'm into it more now because my brother skates or skateboards like any chance that he gets, and I'm into roller skating, like rollerblading, but I have an appreciation for skateboarding. I just don't think that would be something I would really pursue. I tried getting on a board once and I couldn't stay on it for more than 2-3 seconds. So
same. I need help.
I need someone to hold my hand.
Same.
Let's go together. Although that's a good
cool
start.
though.
You just have to get on the board.
It's definitely a skill, definitely balance, I think it's pretty cool. I just not my thing, but definitely would want to see that documentary of Tony Hawk though.
I recommend it.
He's been in this for a long time, like you said, so I think it would be a good documentary to check out.
In his early 50s, I think I might look at it. Kicking. I know. HBO Max, but it's 2 hours long.
Probably a workout too, although
he probably has really good endurance.
For sure.
Okay. So seems like we're all doing well. Hopefully you all are doing well too. And enjoying your weekend. By the time you hear this, it will not be Saturday, but either way, we wish you good vibes this weekend and for the rest of the week.
And Ketanji Brown has been confirmed as the first Black Supreme Court justice in the highest court of the land. Saying that's what they say, right?
That's what everybody says. The highest court of the
land. What land? There's so much land everywhere, and this is colonized land. But anyways, the United States Supreme Court. But cool.
She's also, I think, the first public defender in over 100 years to be on the Supreme Court, which I think is going to add a different perspective, maybe.
Hopefully, I don't know. I mean, she's replacing Judge Breyer. And apparently they have same liberal views. So hopefully, maybe she can persuade the other justices, or we don't know. We'll see.
I'm proud
Time
of her.
will tell.
Did you watch the confirmation hearings?
I didn't, but I saw like recaps and it was terrible.
Yes.
Like it was disgusting to see some of the questions that she was asked. Like I remember some of them were like, oh, on a scale of from 1 to 10, like how faithful are you?
Right.
Or like one of the, I forgot who asked him, but asked her about like if babies are racist and if she agrees with this book or
that
something
was
like
Ted
that.
Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yeah. I was like, what the hell? And then another Republican asked her if she can define what a woman is.
Yes.
And
what
I'm like, what? What does that have to do with? Yeah. And she is by far, I think, the most qualified person to be on the Supreme Court. Agreed. So, yeah. She definitely can get the job done, definitely deserves to be there, shouldn't have gone through all of that to be even nominated and confirmed, but that was pretty,
the way she
monumental
event. The way she kept her cool with all those questions and people saying that she's pro pedophilia and like all these things. It's just you're right, it was disgusting.
Or talking about how like being a public defender is a bad thing, or like bro, it's in our fucking constitution that people have a right to counsel. Right. So are you against the constitution? It doesn't make sense. Like these arguments that they're making, I'm like, what?
And they're always, I mean, on the right, they're always going by the constitution, right?
Yeah. And then it's like, no. Yeah. I think they just say stuff and it doesn't even make sense.
No, like, it doesn't really make sense. They contradict themselves all the time.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. But congratulations to her. Yes. So happy for her. For us too. We needed somebody on there. So happy for that too.
Yay. On that good note, let's get to our awkwardly random question of the day. Michelle, what do you do if your partner has or gets a pet and you are not a pet person, or vice versa?
I'm a pet person, so I have no problem.
Okay, so what do you do when if your partner is not a pet person?
Well, it depends on whether you go into relationship with already having a pet or you're in a relationship and you are thinking about getting a pet. I think it's different. In my case, I was in a relationship or am in a relationship with Jesus, and then decided to get a dog. I've been wanting a dog for like a dog of my own. I mean, I've had family dogs, but like a dog that I would care for with me and my partner. But I've been wanting one for like the past 2 years, and I really wanted to adopt and had submitted applications since I was living in Minneapolis, but always was either didn't receive a message back, or when I did receive a message back, I was told like I wasn't like we weren't fit, like good fits for the dog. So like that's why we decided to like buy a dog, because it was just like, yo, we've been applying. I literally was applying for like a year and a half at different dog adoption organizations. I even donated money so that would help my chances with applications. And it was during COVID, and that's when a lot of people were getting dogs. So like people with houses and like townhomes or like duplexes that had a better like living situation that wasn't an apartment were like preferred over like people like me who were like still in law school, like didn't have like was working part-time, was living in an apartment. So like I guess that's what made me not a good fit for a lot of these places, which sucks because I think I could have provided a good home for a dog. Anyways, like this was a thought that I've been wanting for a while. And so I know Jesus isn't a dog person or a pet person. He's never had one growing up. I know he had one like with other family members, probably had like a cat or something, but didn't actually take care of a pet on his own or like with his family. So I had to like do a lot of convincing, talk to him about the idea. Obviously it was like, this dog like is my dog, like I will pay these finances and certain like stuff like that. But yeah, he opened up to the idea, and then we got a dog, and then started train. I trained her, and Jesus trained her with me, and I taught. We had to like learn how to live together with her. The only thing
Right.
that we're working on with her still is separation anxiety. Like she is
Yeah.
attached to us, so that's something that we're working on, trying to get a trainer for that. But other than that, she's a pretty good dog. But yeah, it took a lot of convincing, and then it
Yeah.
took a lot of work when she was a puppy, because it's not easy having to train a puppy, having to go take her to the bathroom very
Right.
frequently. um if she somehow has stomach problems, taking her to the vet and stuff like that. But we went into it knowing that, like, okay, I'm getting this dog, like, primarily I'm mostly going to look after her in her puppy stage, because I know mostly like what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he helped and he learned, and along the way now, he's taking like a lot more responsibility for her. Like when I'm at work, like obviously he works from home mostly, so he'll like watch her, take her to the bathroom, like
Mm-hmm.
give her food. I give her food too. So like we share more responsibility together now. And in terms of like cost things, he's like, oh yeah, like he sees her as his dog now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more like she's our little child.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cute.
But obviously she's not a child. I know that. I get annoyed when people call their dogs like children. I don't know why. I just get annoyed because I know having a baby and a child and a human is a
It's not the
lot more
same.
responsibility. It's not the same thing. So I get annoyed when people say that. But yeah, she is, that we see her as the thing that we have to keep taking care of and make sure she is doing good.
Did that progression come naturally of him starting to take more responsibility, or did y'all talk about it and plan it? Like that was an expectation.
Yeah, we had to talk about it,
Okay.
because and obviously it came naturally too.
Right.
And but I think it's important to talk about it because it is additional responsibility, it is additional
Right.
money, it is additional time, like out of
Mm-hmm.
your day. So in my opinion, I think it's important to talk about it, because there is an expectation, like especially like him and I, we've been together for years now, and so obviously we're going to stay together for the rest of our lives, and
Yeah.
this dog now is a part of my life for the rest of my life and his life
Yeah.
too. So like obviously like it can't just be a one way thing just with
Right.
me. So he knew he was like, oh, like I know that like in the beginning stage you're probably gonna like handle the reins more, handle more of the responsibilities, because you know what you're doing and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
teach me along the way. But
Mm-hmm.
once we cross a certain path, then I'll take more responsibility, I can chip in this way and stuff like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely I think you need to talk about it. It can't just like, and if you are in it for the long haul in a relationship, you have to expect that you're going to share the responsibilities. I don't think it's fair that it just sticks with one person.
Right. Right. And especially if you share a space, like if you live together and the one partner's doing all the work with the dogs, yeah, that's probably not fair. And there might be some resentment there, right? If y'all don't figure something out.
Yeah. Or like even you want to have a good relationship with the dog too, like that's going to
Yeah.
be living in your space. Like
Right.
you have to know what to do in case of an emergency.
Right.
You just have to be there too. Like if they're living there, like it just doesn't make sense why only one person would take care of the dog.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this question is asking about like your partner, right? So
Mhm.
already implying that you're together, like you're already in a relationship, and then what if they get a dog or they want a dog, right?
Yeah.
But I think even to backtrack it, when you first, let's say, meet this person or you go on a date with somebody, like usually these conversations come up of like, do you have any pets?
Do you have any kids? Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any kids? Do you have any pets? Do you like pets? Right? If you know
Yeah.
already that you are not a pet person, like you do not want pets in your home, that might be a sign to be like, maybe we should stay friends. If you already know in yourself that you're just not willing to compromise in that area or put in some effort in that area, then just stay friends. But
do you think people can change? Like, how do you know? Like, how would you know, like, oh, I'm not, if you've never had one, how would you know that? Well, or at least I don't know that, because I don't have that mindset, but like,
well, some
could
people
you know
really,
that? Is that a possibility?
I think you can know that. I think some people really just don't like pets. They just cannot, they do not want anything to do with pets. I think that's possible.
That is possible. I don't understand it, but it is possible.
It is possible. Right. I myself was in the opposite. I was like Jesus, where Jasmine grew up with pets and she already had 2 dogs by the time I met her. I did not grow up with pets at all. We had 1 dog for like 2 months in the summer, and then it was a lot for my mom. Like my mom, she doesn't have the best relationship with dogs necessarily, based on a traumatic event that she experienced when she was a young kid.
How old were you
when we had the dog?
Yeah,
we were at the duplex, so I was in high school, early high school or middle school.
And you couldn't help out with the dog?
No, we helped out with the dog. What I meant was that my mom is afraid of dogs.
And what kind of dog was it?
I don't know. It was a little tiny one.
You don't even know the dog?
No, I don't know.
And you were in high school? So then how did you take care of this dog?
Well, we took her out. We tried to train her. I don't know what I was doing.
But you don't know what kind of breed it was?
No, I do not remember. I probably knew at the time. I don't remember now. We had her for like a month or 2. So, and her name was Mia or Maya. Mia.
Oh my gosh.
See, I can't even remember. I was so not attached to the dog, Michelle. I was not attached.
So then why did y'all get a dog?
Because my sister loves dogs. My sister loves dogs, and she's always wanted a dog. She's asked one since birth, probably. I did not. I didn't really feel like I wanted one. I didn't need one. I didn't see why we like my sister would want one, right? And then my mom was afraid of dogs, so it was a lot for my mom to have a dog in the house.
Why did y'all get one then?
Huh?
Why did y'all get one then? I don't know. I think I shouldn't be like this, but I get like, I don't know why I get upset when people get dogs and then can't take care of them and then have to unfortunately give them back, which I know is a human thing. It's a life thing. It happens.
Yes.
But I guess it just sucks because I know how hard it is for dogs in like adoption organizations. Yes. But yeah, I definitely get that. But I just think like when we got a dog in middle school, like my mom and my uncle were like, this is like, if y'all really want a dog, you're going to take care of it. You're going to feed it. You're going to train it. You're going to take it to the bathroom. So that was like the expectation that was placed on us. But it's not easy. But yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, just had to put that in there.
Right. So yes, so that situation, there's a lot to that situation, and I don't want to go into it too deeply.
Yeah.
But my mom, I think she knew how much my sister wanted a dog. And, you know, what do? You're afraid of dogs, but your child has been asking for one for years.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? It's a hard situation.
It's hard. It's hard.
It wasn't a good situation for us and for the dog, right? But whatever, that's in the past. It happened. We learned from that. It just didn't work out. And sometimes that happens, right? And I don't think we should necessarily judge the family. Not saying that you did that, but I'm saying like in general, like there's situations are different for everybody. But it's really hard it can be hard for the family and for the dog, obviously. So anyway, so that was my only experience with a dog when I was younger. And so when I met Jasmine, you know, she has these 2 dogs, 2 big dogs. One has special needs, right? There's a lot that they require. I'm still learning how to take care of them. And I love both of them very much, both of the dogs. In the beginning, it was hard though. It was hard for me. And it was a lot of like, I don't know how much effort I'm willing to put in for this. Because I didn't sign up for necessarily taking care of dogs, but I kind of did because I knew that she did have dogs, right? So it was like, I was just internally conflicted.
Yeah.
What do I do? but Jasmine and I talk all the time about it, and we are very open about our communication and our feelings about it. And she's very much aware and tells me like, hey, these are my dogs. I understand that. I like kind of what you were telling Jesus, right? I will take care of these financial needs for the dogs and do all this and that. And, but I'm still helping out, and we are setting more clear expectations. And especially now, as we get further into the relationship, right? Eventually we're going to move in at some point. So like, we have to figure that out. So I think the important thing is to have a conversation from the get-go. If you can, and set clear boundaries, clear expectations that you both can agree on.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part, is agreeing on expectations for people.
And also, like, you and your partner will not always agree on things. You got to accept that too. What do you want to do with that?
Yeah. Whatever people want to decide for their relationships, that's on you, people, whoever's listening to this. But I do think that if you get into a relationship with someone who has dogs, you're taking on that responsibility
of taking care of the dogs.
Yeah. If you're going to be with that person if it's a commitment.
And but also you as the partner who has the dogs, not you specifically, but I'm saying like in general, I think you cannot force your partner to love your dogs as much as you do. And I don't think they're required to spend as much time, as much effort, as much money caring for your pets as you do necessarily. I don't think there has to be forced to be like a 50-50, because you can't force that out of your partner.
I'm not saying you need to force love. I don't think you can force love on anything. Right. But I do think that, like, okay, dating wise, obviously, no, you don't need any. If you're dating someone, responsibility, right. Like if you're just like dating them, right? I don't think that falls on that person dating. But I think if you're going to be in a partnership and a lifelong partnership, I think that should happen. Like, it doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd have to agree on it though, both of you.
So if you don't agree on it, you're saying it's okay for the responsibility to fall on one person, because if you don't agree on it, then like, what is the point? Like,
finances, for example.
I know, but if you're trying to build a life together, like, and the person you're saying, oh, I don't agree to like this, you know what I mean? Like, is it just, I don't know. I think it's complicated, because I don't think that it doesn't necessarily make sense that if you want to be with someone are in a committed relationship or living together or married or whatever, right? It doesn't make sense why that person doesn't want to like, is a dog not part of that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the dog,
like, the dog comes along with it, or you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not saying like you need to force someone to love your dogs, but I think that it wouldn't make sense why it doesn't work the other way. Like the dog is a package deal.
Right. The dog. Yeah. There's the whole package. Yes. I understand that. I think that, like, for example, with finances, right? Do you automatically expect your partner to pay for the vet, right? Or is that your responsibility? Or do you agree that, like, maybe you as a couple can agree, okay, I'm going to pay for all the veterinary stuff, right? Don't worry about that. I think that's okay. I don't think that like it has to be that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I'm not saying you automatically this responsibility gets on you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like, it can be whatever your partnership wants it to be.
Right.
Yes, it could be. But I don't think you can automatically assume also that, just because it's not my dog, like, I'm not going to be responsible for it.
No,
which it sounds like what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, let's not make assumptions.
Okay, so we both agree then. We both agree that every couple can do whatever they want with their dogs.
Yes.
They should agree. But the person does assume responsibility when they go into a committed relationship with the person who has a dog.
Yes, if you know that's a package deal, if you're going to move in with them and you're going to build a life together. Like you said, if you're just dating and you're not living together and you're whatever, I mean, that's clear. Yeah.
That's
their dog, right? But once you're in it, I mean, not to compare it to kids, but at the same time, like if my partner has a child, how am I not gonna help?
Yeah, that's my point.
Depending on, you know, with the relationship with the other parent, the other biological parent.
Okay, yeah, that's different.
Obviously that it gets messy.
No.
It can get
that's
messy.
different.
It can get messy. It can get complicated, not mess, just complicated, right? But I think with dogs too, like I'm just trying to make the point that you cannot just assume that your partner's automatically gonna do all this work. Like you have to talk about it, and you have to come up with something that will work for the both of you.
Yeah. And if you can't agree, like Beans is saying, I don't think that's gonna be a successful relationship.
Actually, for a lot of people, that's kind of the cause of a breakup, right? When it comes to conversations around pets and feelings around pets.
I think it's conversation about finances.
Yeah, también.
Which have to
I think both.
Both, yeah.
Wow.
Figured it out, people. I'm sorry. It can get complicated. That's all I'm saying. But I know I get really like touchy or like defensive when it comes to like my dogs. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel.
That's great. I think that's really cool when that's cool to see that people love their pets so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I just didn't grow up with it, so it's just nice to see it. Let us know what y'all think about that. We really got into it a little bit.
We did. Yay! We finally did we disagree on a podcast finally? Is this our first disagreement? But I don't think we disagreed. I just think there was like miscommunication, misunderstanding.
I think I just worded it differently. I worded it in a way that made it seem like I was disagreeing.
Yeah, because I was trying to, oh, you won't automatically love the dog, and I'm.
Well, that too. I mean, that is a point. You can't force.
You can't. Right. I know.
Right. But I know, and I'm not saying you don't know that. But I think there's a lot of people that are like, you have to like do all this. You know what I mean? You cannot pull that out of your partner. Like you just cannot.
You can't. Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I feel like that's what I would feel. No offense to people with cats. I do not feel that for your cat, but
what if Jesus had a cat? What if Jesus had this cat and he loved his cat so much? What do you do?
But he doesn't, so that's why I don't have to think about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
But I think, but I get it. I think just specifically with dogs, I have that. But if it was another animal, then I could see where like I could just maybe not get there, but I would still take some responsibility for the pet. But yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and we were talking about pets, I mean dogs specifically, because Michelle and I have experience with dogs. Like we're both in a relationship where there's dogs in the relationship. So
if there was a fish, get more fish. Let's get a bigger tank.
What if it was a tarantula?
Well, actually, what am I know somebody who has tarantulas. I didn't take care of them. I didn't know, but like no, I could not. I mean, I would try to feed it whatever it eats, but I wouldn't like, oh, let's chill with the tarantula on my hand. Like that's not gonna work.
Okay, you know? See, I don't know. So it's complicated. It's not
complicated.
That simple.
I know it isn't, but yeah, it's situational.
Yes,
for people, whatever.
It's contextual. Yes.
Yeah, whatever works for y'all. You need to talk about it. Hopefully, you agree. If you don't agree, that can be a little rifty in the relationship. Hopefully not, but you know, people love their pets. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Drop the mic. All right, let's get into the main topic of today, which is the Florida bill, HB 1557, formerly known as Parental Rights in Education bill, officially going into effect on July 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's breathe as we talk through this bill.
Yeah.
It is most widely known as the Don't Say Gay bill. It's a 7-page bill. I tried to read it, but it kind of gave me a headache with the wording, even though it's extremely vague. Did you read the bill, Michelle?
It's bill, yeah. It's bill. It's vague.
Sorry. Okay, so what does the bill say? Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to explain it?
You want to go ahead? I
Okay.
can jump in wherever
All right.
I think.
Correct me on anything. So according to this bill, from my understanding and from what I've been hearing, it reinforces parental rights over the education of their children, right? That's guys that it's saying. But it forbids or it limits or bans classroom instruction on gender identity and sexual orientation, right? So you cannot have this in your curriculum, and this is for kindergarten through grade 3. And then also above that, it's also banned if it's not deemed developmentally appropriate. Am I correct in that piece of it?
Yeah, that. And then I also think that there's certain, I made some notes that the bill also affects like the mental health services that are provided to Florida youth, and conversations between them and like counselors in school. And yeah, so I think it has to do with both of those things.
Yeah, so teachers and schools are required under this bill to disclose any and all information to parents about any of those services you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Unless I think, and I could be wrong, but I think unless there's actual concern, like valid concern for abuse or neglect, if that information is disclosed. I'm not sure on that piece of it though. And it allows parents to sue the school district if they feel, to sue the teacher or the school district if they feel that they are in violation of the procedures listed on the bill. So you can sue a teacher for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So this bill has been opposed by many people, especially those in the LGBTQ community, allies, families, and I feel reasonably so, they called it the Don't Say Gay bill, even though it doesn't say explicitly gay in the bill itself. But it's essentially saying that we are not allowed to talk about these topics.
Yeah. And just to clarify for people, people don't know, they're referring to sexual orientation and then also gender identity, which are two different things. So like gender identity refers to what the person identifies as. So what we know, are like male, female, non-binary, gender non-conforming people, and then sexual orientation refers to who someone finds a romantic interest in,
right?
And that can be anything, or anyone, I mean. And so that's the difference between those, and that's what this bill is referring to, those two overarching topics that I think are super important. And even now, like, the education on these topics, they're not really talked about even outside of school. Like, even, you know what I mean? You have to do your own research in order to learn about these things. As a person who is cis heterosexual woman, you know what I mean? So I think it's very, I just think it can be problematic. I don't know specifically how it will go into effect in July, because it says it's going to go into effect in July. I'm not sure how the Florida school system is. The public, the Florida public school system is K-3. I don't know what they've talked to, like, I don't know what the curriculum is, so I don't really know how it'll affect it, but it will. I just don't know how. And like you said, the bill is very vague, and I feel like it's vague for a reason. So it can encompass a lot of things. Because just talking about even gender identity how is that a bad thing? Like, how is it bad to talk about like what people identify as, you know what I mean? Or like, why is it bad to talk about like sexual orientation? You're not necessarily talking about like sex. You're talking about like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things to talk about that doesn't have to be sexualized.
Right. A point about the bill being vague, I think you're right. I think it was intentional because it makes it that much harder to know what specifically is okay to discuss and teach and what is not. So in an effort to not get sued, which I don't blame them, teachers in schools may be feeling intimidated into avoiding any and all topics related to gender identity and sexual orientation, right? Any and all topics. But you know what? Like gender identity also includes our pronouns.
Yeah.
Right? What are your pronouns? He, she, they. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the people supporting this bill, this is in my opinion, the people supporting this bill are those on the far right, those who are homophobic, those who try to shut out the LGBTQ community, who are just they have such problematic views on things, in my opinion, the people that are supporting this bill. And the fact that it's called Parental Rights in Education, like they're trying to make it sound like we are protecting our parents have a right to do, have a right to have a say in what our kids are being taught and stuff. And yes, I do believe parents do have a significant right, but I think we should not forget that children also have rights. And what if, and this is for a lot of kids actually, school is the only place they feel safe to explore whatever it is that they're trying to make sense of, right? Whether it is their gender identity or their sexual orientation. Like, what if school is the only place they feel safe? What if they don't feel safe at home to do so? Then what happens? I feel like this bill is dangerous and harmful in a lot of ways. And it puts teachers in a really tough spot. It puts children in a tough spot. And I mean, I personally really, really oppose this bill.
Yeah. And I think that other states are implementing similar bills to this.
Yeah. I think Ohio is one of them.
Ohio, yeah.
There was another state, right?
I don't know if Indiana or something like that.
Oh, it might have been Indiana.
And just other states in general are looking, because, since it's going into effect in July, people are saying, oh, like this can work, so let's do this in other states. So I think people are trying to mobilize in that way, which sucks. And I think a lot of people on the ground are trying to go against these bills because they are really dangerous for children. And I read also that like last year they passed another bill in Florida called the Parents' Bill of Rights. And I guess from what I was reading, that law prohibits government entities and other institutions from infringing upon the fundamental rights of a parent to direct the upbringing, education, healthcare, and mental health of a minor child. So I think that they're just building upon the bill that they passed last year.
Right. And really this bill, like kindergarten through grade 3, like in early education, it's not like we're teaching sex necessarily, right? But there is like, I remember doing a project on like my family. I live at home with my mom and my dad and my sister and my baby brother, whatever. Like, like that stuff is quote unquote normal. That's okay. But when Sue has 2 moms, lives at home with her 2 moms and her brother. I don't know, just whatever.
I was like, who's Sue?
I don't know, some kid.
No, that's fine.
All of a sudden, I don't know why, but all of a sudden we're teaching gay sex.
Yeah.
It's just really, I don't know, man. And
it's a huge jump.
Yeah, it's a huge jump. And so we can't even like, I mean, I don't know either the curriculum in the Florida schools. I don't know how the schools function or what that looks like in the schools, but that's that's the narrative that I'm hearing a lot of. Kids are being groomed, kids are being indoctrinated. Like, this is a big problem. Even Governor DeSantis said it in his speech, like we want kids to have an education, not an indoctrination. It's just super, super problematic. And especially for young kids, gender exploration is healthy and normal. And it's a part of development.
For everybody.
Not
just kids,
It's a part of development. And I guess I mentioned kids because this is specifically for kids kindergarten through grade 3. But I mean, obviously it's going to impact older kids as well and everybody. But children grow through their exploration. They play with different toys. And just because a boy plays with dolls doesn't mean he's gay. It means that he likes to play with dolls. Like in their mind, they're not thinking of what sexual orientation they have or whatever. They're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I like this toy, let me play with it, right? And so
Yeah.
they learn through play, they learn through exploration, and they learn within the context of relationships. So they seek out trusting adults to make sense of the world and make sense of themselves.
Yeah.
And so I find it really problematic that this bill is saying we cannot hold space for those conversations, because then what does that leave the child to do? Like, they're on their own. They're on their own.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel really strongly about this.
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. And it sucks for educators and teachers.
Yeah.
Too, because being a teacher is freaking hard. I know that. And to be having this on top and changing curriculum, however you have to change it, and being maybe like you could get sued, like having that possibility like over your head, like that can be an additional stressor, and teachers don't get paid enough to deal with all of this shit. So
let me ask you this, Michelle, you know how like we were talking about parental rights and all these things, do you believe there's a line? Is there a line? And if so, where is it drawn between like parental rights and control for what their children are being taught, right? Like, and I don't know, like keeping their privacy, like respecting the child's privacy also, right? Because these are minor kids. They're under 18.
The thing, they're minor, they're under 18.
Right. I don't know. I don't even have a clear answer for it, but I'm wondering where's the line there, you know?
The line for what again?
So this bill is saying parental rights in education, right? And then the other bill that you had researched was also a bill of rights for parents, right? So it's protecting parental rights.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if a child is at risk of experiencing abuse or neglect or some type of abuse or neglect at home, on feeling some sort of way about their identity, or having questions, right? And then what do we do there? Like, where is I don't even know if I'm making sense, but
you're making sense, but I think that's where we're flawed in our system, is like we have these rights for people, for parents, but like I don't really see rights for the children. Obviously children have rights, they should have rights, but it doesn't seem like it. And even with a lot of cases, like this is way off, but with Gabriel Hernandez, he was being physically abused by his mother, going through like the systems that we have, like with a counselor at school. Like they saw, like they were aware of what was happening, maybe they failed to report it. Still they had like a social worker who was assigned to the case, social worker, you know what I mean? Like there are these things in place for people to check up on children, but we see time and time again that they're not effective. And that may be maybe because of the workload of social workers or teachers or whatever, right? It could be a lot of things, but I definitely think that there should be more ways to center children's rights and center their needs, because some parents don't always have the best interest for their children.
Right.
And that's the reality, sadly. Or maybe provide. I know sometimes parents just struggle with resources, and maybe that adds to the effect of like their parenting, like also not having enough resources or money or whatever it is can help too. So I just think in general, like it's not easy, and it does suck for people who can't get the help that they need.
Right. So this bill is going to impact a lot of children, a lot of families.
Lots of teachers, lots of schools.
Teachers and schools. And I'm genuinely worried for what's to happen, what's going to come, by July.
Yeah.
So
for the people of Florida and then possibly other states.
Yeah. And this is not the only LGBTQ legislation to ever pass. Like this is an ongoing effort to
at different stages too. Even like the common law in proposed bill, I can't like that just recently came out.
The common law marriage one, the marriage one. Where it's only a marriage between a man and a woman, right?
that they wanted to pass it so they can undermine like legal marriages. Yeah, same-sex marriage, because I guess the common law bill only talks about a man and a woman for common law marriage, which terrible.
All right, let's get into Disney's involvement with the bill. Disney has received a lot of pressure and pushback from opposition of the bill, including many of Disney's employees, I think, who have staged out quite a few walkouts. Because in response to Disney's lack of response, I guess, right? Not speaking out against the bill when it was in the process of going into Governor DeSantis's office to be signed. And I think it wasn't until after the bill was signed into law that
it was something around.
I think it was like it was a situation of like, you're a little too late, right?
Yeah, where the CEO.
Yes, where the CEO, Bob Chapek, I don't know how to say his last name. I think it's Chapek. He eventually spoke out against the bill, but this was after the bill was signed and after people were like saying, hey, why aren't you saying anything? Especially because Disney has a solid reputation among the LGBTQ community.
And Walt Disney World is in Florida.
Yes. It's one of the largest employers, isn't it, in the whole state?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So Chapek gave like a speech or remarks or whatever at a shareholders meeting.
I need to be a stronger ally. Isn't that what he said?
He said what?
That he needed to be a stronger ally, or like a stronger advocate or something like that.
Okay, so I have the speech here. Okay, so let me this is something that I want to highlight. I'm just quoting it. We were opposed to the bill from the outset, but we chose not to take a public position on it because we felt we could be more effective working behind the scenes, engaging directly with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. BS.
Yeah.
Disney has also donated a shit ton of money to has made political donations, right, to both sides, Republicans and Democrats. But the reason I call this BS is because Disney has such a powerful voice. Why not use it? And why like, correct, yes, you're right,
money,
Michelle. You're right,
money,
Michelle.
They're not going to use it because of money.
So sadly,
they should use it. Just wanted to add that, but they're corporations. Like,
it's a corporation.
It's a corporation. They want money. It's about money.
What do you think about that approach that Disney took?
I agree with you. It's BS. I think obviously it's a corporation. It's one of the biggest corporations in the world.
Probably.
Has a lot of money, has a lot of power. I definitely think so. Like you said, has donated to political campaigns. So they do definitely, whether we'd like to admit it or not, they do have some political power. Maybe they won't outright say it, but they definitely do, and they could and should be advocating more for against this bill and against bills like this that are coming up. Not just because it's the right thing to do, but also like, they just should do it because it's the right thing to do, but also like, I don't know, like we're in the era, I guess, where like corporations or like companies are trying to be like more like, I guess, allies to like different movements. And this just shows how a lot of it is just performative. It's just words. It's not actually like, when it comes down to like actually making moves, actually advocating, actually pushing, they're not really doing it. It's just more for show. Like here's this like sweater, this sweatshirt that has, you know what I mean? Like very performative things that only makes them more money.
At the end of it, he says, we're reassessing our approach to advocacy, including political giving in Florida and beyond. So I think they did pause political donations. And he said, I understand our original approach, no matter how well intentioned, didn't quite get the job done. But we are committed to supporting the community. Didn't quite get the job done, he said.
Didn't get it done at all.
Correct. But we are committed to supporting the community going forward. So again, these are words, and they won't mean anything until things actually
like, what are you going to do? Like, what is your plan?
Right. I do appreciate him going against the bill, right, or opposing the bill and stuff, but yeah, there needs to be more than that. Like for these kids and families who have such a close relationship with Disney, and like they have unofficial gay days at Disney World.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Wow. And it's not sponsored by Disney, but it's just kind of been this coordinated effort by the community. And so they have like gay days or whatever, and Disney welcomes it. And, so they're, Disney has a lot of power here, and I think they need to use it for good. Right. And they need to do more than just speak out against the bill.
I guess we'll see what their work is going to look like soon, hopefully. And I think and I definitely think a lot of people going against these are people on the ground, not these corporations, these grassroots organizations, people in the community speaking out against it. So props to them, props to people doing the work.
And we'll see what happens as this bill goes into effect, and let us know your thoughts on the bill. See if we can find ways to help these grassroots organizations and people on the ground doing all the work as well. It's just a problematic thing all around. I wanted to tell you about, Michelle, there's this memo that came out it was like a letter that teachers wrote. I don't know what school. It was a school in Florida that teachers wrote to the parents, or to the Florida House. No, who did they? Oh, to the Florida parent and caretaker. So did you hear about this? It was circulating on like social media. No, okay, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll just read this like main chunk. To be in accordance with this policy, I will no longer be referring to your student with gendered pronouns. All students will be referred to as they or them. I will no longer use a gendered title such as Mr. or Mrs., or make any references to my husband/wife in the classroom. From now on, I will be using the non-gender title MX. Furthermore, I will be removing all books or instruction which refer to a person being a mother, father, husband, or wife, as these are gender identities that may also allude to sexual orientation. Needless to say, all books which refer to a character as he or she will also be removed from the classroom. If you have any concerns about this policy, please feel free to contact your local congressperson.
Nothing. There's going to be nothing in the classroom.
I mean, because this especially bill is all so of our vague.
Especially all of our history books are like how things were written were written in by like man and he and all like.
So this is like okay, you say you don't want to talk about it, fine.
It's hilarious. I love it all. I love that letter.
I know it was a great
it's like letter. Here you go, this is what you want us to do, so
we're all just gonna be they them.
Right? That's good. Definitely should use that.
Anyway, I just thought it was
I'm glad that they circulated that, wrote that. Like it's just hilarious. It's just like, this is what it is.
This is what you wanted.
But I'm glad that like teachers are like organizing or unionizing and making their voices heard and all of that. So it's important.
Let us know what you think about everything, how you're feeling about everything. Just our thoughts on it. Michelle and I obviously oppose this bill.
We're not in Florida, but we oppose it.
But we oppose this bill, and any bill
and like that's coming to our states.
That's coming to our states. Yes, correct.
That is it. Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all we have.
We'll catch you at the next one. Bye.
Bye.